Welcome to my channel. 1955. Le Mans 24-hour race disaster. The annual 24-hour Le Mans race is renowned as one of the toughest races in motorsports. The 1955 race was expected at the time to be one of the most exciting races in events history. Icons from the racing world were about to race. This included British driver, Mike Hawthorn, who was driving for Jaguar, along with another British driver, Stirling Moss, driving for Mercedes. Stirling Moss's teammates included Pierre Levegh, a driver from France, and Juan Manuel Fangio, the Argentine who is regarded as the single greatest racing driver of all time. The 1955 race became a thrilling duel between Mike Hawthorn and his rival Juan Manuel Fangio. The race was well underway, and Mike Hawthorn had to make a pit stop. He cut ahead of driver Lance McLin, before applying his brakes. This took Lance McLin by surprise and he quickly swerved to avoid hitting Mike Hawthorn, but this put him directly in the way of Pierre Levegh, who was traveling behind him. Pierre Levegh didn't have any time to swerve out of the way, and he was seen waving his hand to warn other drivers, before his car drove up the side of Lance McLin's car. Pierre Levegh was thrown out of his car and smashed into the ground, crushing his skull. He died instantly. His car then slammed into the side of the circuit, causing chunks of metal to be thrown into the packed crowd of spectators. One journalist would go on to explain how the metal decapitated the packed-in spectators like a guillotine. The rest of the car ended up on the embankment, and the rear-mounted fuel tank exploded, bursting into flames. The burning debris showered down on the track and into the crowd of injured spectators. The situation was made worse by rescue workers, who were not familiar with magnesium fires, and poured water onto the flames. This just intensified the fire, meaning the car would be burning for several hours. Lance McLin's car was heavily damaged, and had smashed into the left side barrier before veering to the right of the track into the pit lane, just missing several cars that were in the pits refueling. Lance McLin survived the crash without any serious injury, and even managed to get out of the wreck and walk away. It is believed that between 80 to 84 people died in the accident, with 178 more people being injured. It is thought that some of those people died instantly. However, even though it was complete carnage, the officials did not stop the race. It is believed that the reason for this was to stop the crowd from all leaving at once, stopping emergency crews from getting to the scene of the accident. Mike Hawthorn would go on to win the race. There is debate as to who was responsible for the crash. Some blame Mike Hawthorn, saying his rivalry with Mercedes and Juan Manuel Fangio caused him to act recklessly in the seconds before the pit stop, while others blame Lance McLin, claiming he should have been able to swerve in time, and not causing the car behind to crash. However, the official inquiry into the crash held none of the drivers specifically responsible, and criticized the layout of the 30-year-old track which hadn't been designed for cars to go at such speeds. The death of the spectators was blamed on inadequate safety standards of the track design. It was found that many drivers had been raising safety concerns about the pit straight since 1953. After the accident, improvements were made. The pits were redesigned, and the old grandstand was demolished and rebuilt in a hope that this would make spectators safer. Lance McLin's Austin Healey was eventually sold, and in 1969 it was bought for £155. However, it was again sold in December 2011 and was bought for £843,000. The Le Mans 24-hour race 1955 accident is considered to be one of the worst disasters in the history of motorsport. It was just a few years after the 1955 tragedy, that winner Mike Hawthorn became Britain's first ever Formula One world champion. However, Mike Hawthorne would later die in a car crash just a few months after retiring from motorsport, while out driving his own Jaguar. We forever remember those spectators and driver killed in the 1955 Le Mans tragedy. May you always be remembered. Thank you for watching and learning about events from history. Please subscribe to my channel to view other events from the decades.